What up, everybody? How are we doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. So, I'm here doing the dailies and, on this event, enjoying a little time down, I guess, a little downtime for the most part, I guess. Oh, geez. You know, my world in a year's time has taken such a weird twist. You know, nothing in my world has ever been really ideal, I guess, right? It just never has. I mean, when I could probably contribute that also growing up because like I said, I was raised different, and I knew that. And everybody can say that to a degree, but literally, no, literally, I was literally raised completely different than most people. And I think the biggest factor for me in all of this was literally having to just come to this weird recently okay, so let me explain this story. So I knew my grandfather came here in 1888. Right? That's about all I knew. And that's it. And that, I'm a humble. Yeah, pretty much it. My cousin one day was like, hey, and I asked something. I was like, oh, dude, let me take a look at it. Let me look it up. Because, with all the genealogy stuff going on and listings, even if you don't have a membership, you'll see something referenced, right? So all of a sudden, I type in my grandfather's name. Now he changed his name, and I didn't know that at the time. When he got here, some people will change the spelling of a name, and Harold was mentioning that the other day, right? And but my grandfather actually changed his name, which is just a occurrence in my family. They have a tendency to do that. So anyways, I was like, okay, this is weird, because when I typed it in, that's when all this stuff came up. I was like, what is this? And I'm telling him, I was on my phone, he's like, what? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. And then, of course, I came across my cousin's website, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, now initially I took a look at some pictures of, that associated line of the, and it was like, oh my. And I'm just like, oh, and I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. And then, next thing you know, a few months later, I was getting stuff sent to me via an account I hadn't used in a decade, right? Like a collection of pictures that looks identical to me. And I'm like, of course, this was before I did the DNA. I do the DNA, and sure as shit, I did not know it, but I'm Russian. So this is on my grandfather's side, because the DNA will break down what you're getting from each side of your family. So on my mom's side, on my grandfather's side, I inherited Wales, Scott, Swede, Deutsch, German, and Russian. And I was like, what the? And I'm like, I didn't know I was Russian. I didn't know that. And of course, the families started coming out. Well, some things are they're private. I can't access them until I get back home to Germany. Right? And once I have access to that, then, I'll get all the details. But So let me show you guys. Let's just hold on. I got it pulled up just for this purpose. So right here on my shorts, have you ever been haunted by your reflection?
Get lost in the nothingness inside of me. I was confused, and I let it all out to find that I'm not the only person.
Okay, so the first two are Romanovs. And I was like, oh my. And there for a little while, I was getting, you know, like Russian stuff through my, like YouTube, and the algorithms were picking up that stuff. So I was literally getting like videos of like, it's just crazy stuff. Like, and then it stopped. But yeah. So, just stuff that typically I would never have access to, is my point. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I have my own personal feelings about all of this, but I'm digesting everything, right? I'm really digesting
This is Arthur's
all of
defensive
this.
outpost in the Metropolis waters. We have
And
a limited opportunity to initiate
I
our
think
attack.
it's-
Once we've
I
threatened
don't
the
think
safety of these waters, I will set my sights
when
on
something
Atlantis.
like this gets,
Now is the time.
like,
Attack!
revealed
Do
to
you prefer Ocean Master? And you've brought conspirators.
it changes so much of your world.
You will never take the throne of Atlantis.
Because ignorance
no matter
is
how
bliss,
many times
right?
you try. Nor will you take this
that
outpost.
that saying holds truth, that ignorance is bliss. But unfortunately, I don't, like I used to tell people, I don't get that luxury, right? I just don't. And I don't know how to take everything. I'm still processing everything to a degree, right? And I don't know. Like I said, but for me, I'm always, I can't change what I am, okay? So, and that's what I would tell people, like, I can't change, what I am, nor would I want to. I would never want to, dismiss the fact that I'm Russian. I am Russian. Part of me is Russian, and, that's just the way it is. But I have a lot of feelings that I've been going through because I really wish things weren't going on the way they were. Because I told somebody, I was like, if things weren't going on the way they were, would I like to go, explore my Russian heritage? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's a part of me. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen anytime soon due to the circumstances. So, and I can't change that.
No, this isn't over.
Right? I can't change
You've served
what's
me well,
going on.
vassals.
If I could,
Now
if I
take the
could,
fight to the
I would,
surface.
right? I would. If it was within my power and my capability to change the circumstances, I would. But it's not. And I don't think I would want it to be different in the element of reestablishing monarchy. I believe in democracy. My grandfather believed in democracy. His father believed in democracy. But that was the ideal, without corruption. Like, without even lobbying. And because it should be the people that are represented, and it should be from the people. So but unfortunately there's nothing I can do, and my prayers are always that it's going to change. Like there's going to be some sort of resolution. Yo, Ufology, what up? You still jive your PS4? I got rid of it. Hey, bud, how have you been? Hey, what's up? I've been doing good. Just upside down life, man. No, I got rid of the PS4 because I can't take it, Ufology. I miss you, dude. I miss you a lot. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I can't, like, I've been in between Germany and America, so, you know, I got the laptop, which is nice. I'm able to, whatever. I hope that PS4, I used to have an emulator, and I might be able to re-download it, and I think you can jump on PS games now through the past. Maybe I'll get into that. Maybe I'll hit you guys up. I know this game has cross server, so I can play with PlayStation 4 players on this game. ESO unfortunately isn't cross-platform, but Final Fantasy is, and I do have that. So if you're ever into Final Fantasy, maybe I'll, you know, get that, and maybe we can game and stuff. But yeah, it's been a trip, man. But yeah, like there was stuff sent to me. Literally, these pictures, specific pictures, were sent to me. I don't know why. I don't know how they knew to get a hold of me. I don't know none of that. But it was an account that was dead for like a decade, and I was like, what the fuck? And I'm still processing. Dude, I feel like, guys, I feel like I'm going out of my mind. I feel like, what the fuck is all of this? Like, that's how I feel. Now, like I said, it burns me in some degree because some things made sense. Because I was in the military for a short period of time. And when I was in the processing station in Cleveland here, because I'm currently in Cleveland, they had me wait for an hour just so the CO could come and shake my hand and then leave. And I was like, what the hell is this? What is this? And then I look back after all this, and I'm like, oh, you fuckers knew. You bastards knew. Oh, you fucks. And that's what pisses me off. I'm like, for 100 fucking years, you put my family in a hole, you son of a bitches. And then when I mean hole, I mean a fucking hole. I'm like, I was like, oh, you motherfuckers. So yeah, so I'm a little peeved about that, you know. But at the same time, you know, Germany has, you know, created a democratic process. I'm really happy about that because that's what my grandfather had wanted, and this gives me the opportunity to fulfill his wishes, and I'm really happy. And a lot of people, like, I try not to get into the political landscape ever. Let me see if there's any comments. El Gooch, in case you forgot. No, I definitely have you, dude. I still have you, brother. I still have you. I miss you, man. Dude, there for the longest time I wondered what happened to you because I didn't know what had happened. I did not know. And I was like, where's Gooch, man? Where is he, dude? So, nah, I'm definitely, like, if I get the PS Pass and stuff and Final Fantasy, I'll get a hold of you, man. Because there's definitely certain games we can play and stuff. But you know, you're more pickier than I am, so I know I like gaming with my people.
The effort to dethrone my brother
And
is ongoing.
but like I don't get into the political elements of anything, but like I think Chancellor Schultz has done an amazing job under the circumstances of everything. Because you got to think, when he came into office, COVID had dropped, and then of course the conflict in Ukraine, and I think Chancellor Schultz has done an amazing job. You know, without, you know, taking a political side, because I'm not allowed, and as I'm being raised, I'm not allowed to associate a side. I'm not allowed to do that. But that's how I was raised, because I don't have that luxury. That's what my grandpa, and that makes it started to make sense. Like, so much stuff makes sense why I was raised the way I was, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit. But if people ask me, oh, like, what do you think of Chancellor Schultz? I'm like, I think he does an amazing job under the circumstances. I mean, put yourself in his position, given all of these extra, you know, extraordinary circumstances that who would be prepared for any of these things? And he's adapted, especially during the energy crisis. You know, the democratic process is always a rough one, to say the least, but at the same time, you know, the German government has proceeded to do things, especially with citizenship and all these new changes, the transportation system, the infrastructure. I think it's working. It's never perfect. Nothing's perfect, But at the same time, that's part of the democratic process, is trying to find compromise and meet in the middle to get resolution. The more decisive things are, and the more you can't find compromise, the more it's going to obstruct any progression. So I'm really, really happy, and that's why I feel so comfortable over there. People ask, I'm like, I feel so comfortable over there. Plus, it looks like home for me. Nothing does out of crazy. Long story, dude. Definitely gonna have to tell me it. You definitely gonna have to fill me in if we like, whatever. I'll take a look and see if I can get the emulator in. But luckily I have Steam. I'd have to get a new controller though, too. Certain games I can play keyboard and mouse, but some you have to have the controller. I'll have to get a new controller. But yeah, you'll definitely have to fill me in. And why am I disclosing this now? Because I think a lot of people had wondered what happened to Mystic. Why did he just leave? What the heck? And okay, I don't even know. Jesus, I told somebody, I'm like, had I known, right? Would I have done things differently? That's a good question, because it's like I try not to judge my family's past in as much as I can. Why? Because I wasn't in their position, right? I think it's easy for anybody to say, oh, that was wrong or that was wrong. But like I always tell my kids, it's easy for people to draw a conclusion when you're not put in that position. But when you're put in that position, what led you to make those decisions? Nothing's ideal. Nothing is ideal. And for me personally, I don't want to assume anything, right? That's just, I think the hardest part for me is like knowing that part of my family got literally exterminated. And I think that's the hardest part for me. And some part of me feels an obligation, right? A part of me has a feeling of obligation because something was taken from the people of Russia. And besides not the monarchy, but the family as a whole. And to me, therein lies that conflict, right? That thorn, and to say, and then I did a piece in remnants of Nicholas and the family. It's hard. It's really been. This is not easy. I don't think it's. And like I said, this is just so. It's. I don't think you could prepare. I don't think you ever prepare for something like this in your life. And I really don't.
Way to blow those loyalists out of
I really
water.
don't.
At this rate,
I don't think you can ever prepare for this type of revelation.
Check back with him tomorrow. His forces might need some.
And you guys know me. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I know I have an ego at times. I know that, but that's in the game.
At this rate, Ocean Master will be getting fitted for his.
Everybody has an ego to a degree, so
check back with him tomorrow.
We all have. If you're gonna psychoanalyze anything,
yeah, that just happened.
I think everybody, has, pros and cons. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I have my pros, I have my cons, but the difference is I acknowledge both. I'm hard on myself, very hard on myself.
Welcome one and all to
so this is, and I appreciate all the support throughout the years. You guys have always been so great for me, because when when I became a, you know, a stay-at-home dad, I had to like figure out what to do with my time, and I became a tester for companies, and then all of a sudden, you know, it led me here, you know, and you know, I never, you know, I guess like everything happens for a reason. Is my point. Everything that you're ever going to experience happens for a reason. We might not know what those reasons are, but they do. That I believe in that. And a lot of people would ask me when I was growing up, like, you know, what's my thoughts, what's my beliefs, and I'm like, it doesn't matter what I believe because I don't go to tribalism. Like technically, I'm Catholic, right? But I don't practice Catholicism anymore. It's not that say I have anything against the church, because I don't. The thing is, I'm always hoping that it's going to, you know, like for example, I'm raised with the thought like the number one thing is thou shalt not judge, right? Thou shalt not judge. But most of the time, a lot of people are judgmental, and it doesn't matter if you don't agree with somebody, right? Because how many people agree with you? And that takes on the form of tribalism. It takes on the form of who's right and who's wrong. Well, it's not always that simple. And, you know, as a Christian, I want to believe that in the end, we always try to do what's best for people. Even if because there's no man or woman without sin. So who are we to judge in any capacity? And it's easy, right? There's a lot of things I don't agree with. But that doesn't mean it's my place to tell another person you're wrong. Because how can I do that when I've never been put in their specific position? And therein lies my point. So I'll always adhere to it. But yeah, like, you know, and that's part of my upbringing. That is part of my upbringing. That's part of the way I was raised. You know, I mean, like I said, I mean, I have a lot more conservative values for me as an individual, but it doesn't mean I'm without compromise or I'm not, you know, incapable of wanting to find, you know,
This is Arthur's
a better
defensive
solution
outpost in the metropolis
that
waters.
accommodates.
We have a limited
It's more
opportunity
accommodating.
to initiate our attack.
Because we all have to
threaten
live
the safety of these
in the same
waters,
world.
I will set my sights
And
on
it's
Atlantis.
due to the
Now is
political
time.
atmosphere.
Attack!
It's due to different. Instead of trying to find indifference, people always
expected
are
as
quick
much
to
from
find
you.
the differences to
Or do you prefer
what
Ocean
align
Master?
to their
And you
personal
brought conspiracy.
agendas.
It
And
changes
that
nothing.
becomes
You will never
problematic.
take the throne of Atlantis, no matter how many times
And,
you try. Nor
you know,
will you
I don't
take
know.
this outpost.
Everything for me is just, like I said, it's a whirlwind. I'm going through more than I would ever have thought I would ever have to go through in my life. I don't think I've never thought of me being anybody special either, to be honest with you guys. Never did. It's just, you know, my perspective on life, you know. But now I have a lot to digest. Hit it. How did we do? Not good. That's my low level. But yeah, dude, I'll definitely have to hit you up, man. Russia has the best national anthem.
Now take the fight
You know,
to the surface.
I know somebody in Russia, and you know, I know, like I said, I would love to see it one day. I would, you know. I just don't know, man. You know, like I said, I'm kind of, I'm definitely going through it, man. And like I said, I don't think, you know, it's funny because somebody's like, oh, what are you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, listen, man, like, you think I'm crazy, right? And someone's like, yeah, and I'm like, well, you don't think I've contemplated this? That's what I said. I'm like, you don't think I would even think this dumb? I mean, how many people could literally say, oh, by the way, I'm the descendant of the Holy Roman Empire and Charlemagne? I mean, who would say that on a normal occasion? And I know a lot, there was like somebody had said, well, there's a lot of people, you know, descendant of Charlemagne. Well, yes, and kind of not. And there's reasons behind that. And I'm not discussing it because I know why. And I'm like, it's not that simple. Is that, you know, this is very complex. This is an upside down situation, you know. And then my grandfather used to tell me at one time, he would take me out fishing, and I hated fishing. God, I hated fishing. But that's when lessons were taught, because he drank beer. He hated American beer, by the way. He hated any form of American beer. It's like disgusting. So no offense, but German beer is better. So, but you know, the funny thing about it was, he would like, come on, it's time to go fishing. I'm like, and he's like, don't give me that. Let's go. And the way he explained it, he would always tell me, he's like, I don't need you to understand everything I'm telling you at this point. I just need you to retain what I'm telling you. And then later on, it will make sense to you. Right? And that's how he taught me about economics and taught me about philosophy. And there were so many, even physics, even simple elements of physics was taught in a way that I could retain it. And as a child, and I think that was, it was unique. It was definitely a unique way of keeping me engaged. But and then later on, it would all make sense. It would all just like it, like a light bulb. He suffered a lot. He really did. You know, he had his vices. And he drank himself to death, actually. And I lost him when I was 12 years old. And my uncle had to carry me out of the funeral home because that's how distraught I was. Because my grandfather was my world. And I couldn't ever understand why he suffered so much until now. And then when I look in the mirror, I'm haunted by those reflections of my family in the past, and I can't escape it. So now I share his, you know, burden. And that for me is, I wish I could go back in time and tell him that it's okay. You know? I mean, if I could do anything, I think that would be it. I think I would just like to tell him, you know, it's okay. You know. But yeah. So I'm going through I'm just, you know, and like I think I'm like my one friend was like, well, you shouldn't be posting all this shit on the on the net, though. I'm like, well, I don't want to be a poster boy either. So, in some ways, I'm doing everything intentionally. You have to understand, sometimes in my world, what doesn't make sense to you is all intentional, right? Because think about it. who wants to put a person like me as a poster boy for anything? Nobody, because everybody would think I'm nuts. So it actually it benefits me to sabotage myself, because my grandfather used to say, you know, like my one cousin, his dad died, and they were insanely loaded, and I said, I feel bad for you, and because your dad left you all this. And he's like, you shouldn't feel bad for me. And I'm like, no, I do. Because the simple fact of it is, nobody will see past this. Anytime, any woman you're going to get with is going to know this, right? You're kind of like fucked. You're fucked, dude. You're like literally kind of screwed, right? You kind of are, you know? I mean, I wish it wasn't the case, but it likely is. And that's something like I dreaded. You know, those were the things that I dreaded. I had family who had money, and they were never fucking happy. Ever. You know, especially when certain family members were getting divorced and everything, and money came into the situation, and then you find out people got together because of the money, because of the, I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god.
At this rate, Ocean Master will be
I refuse to raise my daughters with this bullshit like mentality. You need to find a provider shit. Fuck that. I'm Deutsch. Like hell to the no. I told my daughters, I'm like, if you ever let a man domesticate you, we're gonna have problems. And I'm like, you are Deutsch. And that means you look for partners. If your man comes under hard times, would you leave him? Oh no, Dad, we would never do that. That's damn right, because you're not with the man for money. You're with the man because he's your partner. You become one, you know? And that's why I never got married, because I believe in those vows wholeheartedly. I was like, there's no way. And then someone's like, why didn't you ever get married? I'm like, because I don't believe in divorce. And I'm not judging people who have been divorced. Don't get me wrong. Just for me, if I make that vow, I expect the person I'm being with to honor the same vows. And unfortunately, in today's society, it don't go down like that. It don't. And so no, I would rather kind of whatever. And I feel like men are going through that. Like men realize it. Like it's funny because Chris Rock has this comedy. The only you know, everything else has unconditional love, but a man. Because a man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. And that's the truth. You might not like that, but that is the truth. And I refused. I don't want anything because I'm scared of it. I'm scared of somebody wanting to be with me for all the wrong reasons. That's my fear. That's my fear of life. That is my fear. If people want to know why I do the things I do and why I sabotage myself, it's because of the fear of succeeding, of being with somebody, for somebody being with me for all the wrong reasons. That's my fear. There it is. You know, I would rather be alone in this world than be with somebody who doesn't really love me. You know, plain and simple. Oh, did men from back in the day in hard men? Absolutely. You have a public email? I have I have some emails, but you can get a hold of me. You can message me on TikTok. Just follow me on TikTok, and you can message me and just tell me who you are. So, you know, just go to those shorts. Go to my TikTok, Mystics MMOs, at Mystics MMOs. I think it's a TikTok or something, but yeah, then you can message me. And then I can give you all the detail. I can give you on, you know, hook up with you through Discord or something. So, yeah, men back in the day, and like I said, I think that's the more That's the funny thing is because my
I
daughters
expected
actually
as much
did
from
get
you,
to see
or do
me
you
raise
prefer
them,
Ocean
so
Master?
my daughters
And you
don't
brought
just assume,
conspiracies.
oh, it's a man's role to
It
do this or it's a
changes
woman's
nothing.
role to do
You
that.
will never take
Hey,
the
it's
throne
both
of
your
Atlantis,
roles.
no matter how many times
And
you try.
you know,
Nor
it takes
will you
it takes
take
you
this
it takes you both.
outpost.
It's not one way or the other. It's both. If you can't do that, well, you got major problems.
King of Atlantis, and you will kneel
You may be able to turn the currents of rebellion for
I'm not saying, you know, that, like I said, I just feel like if you're going to be a team, you have to be a team. But like I said, I was instilled with all of that. I'm not saying that, you know, it's funny because I told somebody, I'm like, you know, women have been housewives for hundreds, thousands, 2,000 years, right? And I'm like, but it's funny because, you know, if the day the man does it, right? If you let's say you find a career woman, right? Do you want somebody else raising your children? That's my question. Or would you one of you rather? I personally have always felt like I would rather either me or my kid's mother raise my children, right? That's my personal feeling on it. That's my personal feeling. And I'm like, you know, time is money. So you might think, oh, you know, we both work and that, but what's it costing you to do it? What's it costing you to maintain it? You have to, you know, do this, you have to do that, you have to pay for daycare. Sometimes less is more. That's the family saying.
No,
Sometimes you get
this
more
isn't
out
over.
from less. And I don't care who does it, in my opinion. I don't care who brings home the bacon. I don't care. I don't care. The only thing I'm questioning, I'm asking is who's doing what. That's the only question. That's it. So you know, take it for what it is, I guess. But yeah, crazy, man. My world has definitely turned upside down. But yeah, Uology, get a hold of me via TikTok, man. We'll get more of a permanent platform. We'll hook up, we'll talk. Man, I miss you, dude. I miss you. We rolled through everything. First vets and stuff, all that shit. It was all good. So but yeah, get a hold of me, dude. But yeah, I just wanted to stop in and kind of explain, you know, more. You know, like I said, I don't know. But, you know, like I told somebody, I can't dismiss the fact that I'm Russian. I am. That's genetic, right? I can't dismiss that all of these things lie. I can't do that. I don't have that luxury. The best thing that I can do right now is process things, get closure, and then try to move on with my life. That's it, you know. I'm always praying that things will, you know, find a way to resolve them, to find some accommodations, and conflict ends, because I would love, like, it's amazing for me to be back in for me to be in Baden-Württemberg. When I'm in Germany, it looks like where I was raised at in Ohio. It feels good for me to be there. I enjoy it, you know, being there when I'm there. And I would love to go to Russia one day and, you know, I don't know, to, you know, get to see my heritage, my Russian heritage, and, you know, and I'm praying for the people of Russia, as same as I'm praying for the people of Ukraine. Just because there's conflict doesn't mean there's people that aren't suffering on both sides. So my prayers go out to both. you know, that's how I feel about it. So, yeah. Anyways, man, you know, thank you guys for stopping in. Thank you for your support. Uology, hit me up and message me for sure. And then, you know, we'll definitely, you know, catch up. And everybody, man, thank you.